Hi, everybody. It is now October 31, 2019. A whole lot of fires are erupting in California. This is Fullerton, a new fire that broke out earlier today.
Definitely some location and up there. It's hard to tell exactly what the landscape is. It looks to be about medium fuel, but maybe even at some point some taller trees as well. Just a little bit difficult to tell based on the limited light that we're working with here. But again, you are looking about due west in this shot right here, and that is Castlewood Drive along the left-hand side of your screen, and where it curves up to the right near the top, that is Gilbert Street. And just in the last couple of minutes that we have been on scene, you can see additional engines moving into this area very aggressively. A cavalry of fire trucks now pulling into position here, and they are going to make every effort possible to prevent this fire from jumping those two roads. That's the direction this fire is moving in. That's the direction the smoke is blowing towards, and that is the direction where if it was to jump one of those roads, we would have some property in danger here. So right now, this looks like a relatively tame situation compared to the fires that we've been looking at for most of the day. And again, a very aggressive firefight underway here in Fullerton. But as of right now, they're doing an excellent job of at least trying to keep this fire away from those two roads, or at least prevent it from jumping. But nonetheless, you can see there is some wind down there. That means that there's always the potential for embers to go flying into that neighborhood, in which case we would have a whole nother situation.
Okay, so this is 53, well, 54 minutes. And here, South LA, Fullerton.
Has the potential, especially if it isn't
Sorry, I don't, I didn't do anything.
deep pallets or a junkyard or anything like that to burn for quite some time. Hard to tell from this vantage point what is surrounding this fire, whether it's other commercial property. I would venture to say that's probably a good guess. Those are usually in more industrial areas. Just a little bit tough to tell from this vantage point right here. The best locator we have at this point is the area of Firestone and Alameda.
Firestone and Alameda in the city of Los Angeles. And this is not what firefighters need right now, with having to worry about the Getty Fire. The good news with the Getty Fire is that most of the people who were evacuated have been allowed back into their homes, but there is still a small pocket up there in the Brentwood area that remains under mandatory evacuation, which would seem to indicate there still is some concern up there with the Getty Fire, with the winds and the potential for a hot spot to reignite. So resources are stretched quite thin right now. We've got a lot of firefighters dealing with that, and now and now having to deal with this huge fire in South Los Angeles, the area of Firestone and Alameda. We believe it's a pallet yard on fire.
But certainly they are not an exceptional danger just based on the direction that this fire is blowing in. They are on their hook and ladder trucks, and they are attacking this from every safe angle that they can. And if they can't, they'll pull back. They will not put themselves in too much danger unnecessarily, especially for a fire that's out of control. You can see this section of the property is really going up well out of control, and there are not any firefighters in that alleyway. They will pull everybody back until they can find an angle where they can get water on the fire safely. In this case, they are not able to surround the building, where on a normal day, if the winds were a little bit less and maybe there was a little better access to a fire like this, maybe you would see firefighters and water coming from all different directions, all different angles, and they could surround the fire and drown the fire, like they say.
Yeah, California. Well, I will link below to everything. I hope, especially for you guys out in California, that you bookmark this University of California fire. It's a real-time fire map, and I have been taking a look at this, and it is extraordinary what is taking place. I'll get to the easy fire in 1 second, but I just want to show you how this works. Look at all of these fires that are, well, going on now. You got Fullerton, you got this Lakeview, Brea, Whittier, Alameda, Hill, Dexter, Norco, and Water. So you guys need to pay attention to what is happening. So what you do is, I'll do the Castlewood, Brea Fire. Okay, Brea Canyon Road, 57 Freeway, 2 acres, requesting California Highway Patrol to shut down the northbound 57 freeway as fire is jumping across. Don't you want to think that, oh, fire map, it's an old fire? No. Dated 12:07 p.m., October 30. And then click off here and you'll get to County of Los Angeles Fire Department, and you'll get an awful lot of information on all of these fires that are taking place. Water dropping helicopters, Fullerton Fire. This is really, well, quite something, to say the least. We'll go to the easy fire. Fires are just really breaking out all over. This was 26 minutes ago. Mandatory evacs lifted for west of Highway 23. Still some mandatory evacuations east of 23. So, yeah, the easy fire that erupted, well, they all seem to be erupting in the early morning hours when it's still dark out. So I think this is an important map for you guys. But it's not just in California. It picks up sensors, thermal activity. So this is in Utah. Thermal activity on the 30th. Okay, look at all these fires in Mexico. The Thief Fire, the Triangle Fire, Kincaid, Misty. I'm going to show you what I saw on a radar map, and it looked like, what is going on? Like, is it a fire, or it was just above Redding, but what is this? Thermal activity, 5:05 p.m. on the 30th, and hotspot detection, how it works. You can find more information, but %63% confidence of thermal activity. Well, I'd have to do some reading on these sensors and what they mean, but they're satellite sensors picking up hot spots right on the border of California and Oregon, or right over the border of California in Oregon, and a few more hot spots going on. So this thermal activity, meaning what? Meaning fires? There seem to be a lot of them. Wow, sure are. Well, it really is very hard to keep up with all of these fires. Right next to Chico, Northern California, you got thermal activity, 91%. And yeah, right outside of Chico. All right, the Getty Fire, you still have people who are under mandatory evacuation. You can watch this broadcast, and it's all about those who are having to endure these evacuations. I just want you to see this. Yeah, I was watching this live broadcast of the Easy Fire, and, well, I guess they thought they were off air, but they weren't. And you just picked up some conversation that was not intended for the public.
Hey,
When do you want to work
Steph.
the Santa Barbara thing in? And we could write a, like a 10-second reader or something if you want.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's just a nutty day, isn't it?
John Caddis-Klimak.
Chuck Henry.
John Caddis-Klimak.
What's up, guys?
When the homeless see you coming, what do they say?
Your mic.
Grab the syringe.
Grab the syringe.
Okay. I think it's out.
Well, you then see, this is very strange, because then you saw him get very, very serious, and he was reporting. So what happened there? It seems they edited
Volt
it.
sub-transmission line.
This is his reporting. I don't know what that was. You can,
Grab the syringe.
you can play around with it. I don't get what happened here. I don't get
30
most
mile per hour
things
gust from-
anymore. I don't get most things anymore. I do not get most things anymore. Easy Fire. Mandatory evacuations ordered. Look at these fires. They all have the same signatures. They're burning incredibly hot. And wow, the embers really do fly. Fly, fly, fly. These are not lights. These are, well, that's part of the fire. All of these white dots all over. And you really do need to think about, the technology that we know they have. Think about what we don't know.
But it just looked like they had a lot of light around their home. It appears to be a home. It doesn't look to me like it's some sort of utility type structure. It appears to be someone's home.
The Easy Fire.
20 minutes.
Interesting, that line, isn't it? So I guess it was, what, embers that flew from here right across the road and lit up the other section. Look how white. Look how it is burning. That's extremely hot fire. Which certainly does need to be questioned. So this is an 7-hour and 42-minute live broadcast, which you can watch. Evacuations in the area. This is later on today for the Easy Fire. See, this erupted in the early morning hours. Come on.
Hey, Jeff and Pat, it is definitely flaring up. This is a very persistent hotspot. You can see firefighters have their ground crews here. They've done about 4 water drops on this particular spot. We're near Tahira Rihada, and just east of the 23, and across the street from the Tahira Rihada golf course. I think these are possibly cardboard boxes. That's what we're sort of gleaning from looking at this video. That's the best we can sort of figure out. It's on private property across from where we are, so we're not, obviously very, very careful about that. But it looks like it's some sort of cardboard material that's burning there, and they've done several water drops. As I said, it looks like they've got another chopper above. No water drop though in this case. But yeah, they've got their ground crews here, obviously dousing this thing as much as possible. This is not far away from the 23, as I mentioned, and also not terribly far from the Reagan Museum, kind of in the heart of all this fire tornado nightmare sort of scenario that we saw playing out here, just kind of fire whipping from one spot to the next. And so, obviously they're just being very careful, and there's no reason that this can't explode into something much worse, of course, when you have the winds blasting the area as they have and just sort of ravaging this area around Tahira Rihada, around the 23, Moore Park, Simi Valley, and, with the winds kind of carrying stuff, as we've seen over the course of the last few weeks. Everybody just is so concerned every time you feel a gust that an ember is going to jump from one of these little hot spots into another area.
Yeah. Well, it seemed to me like they were having difficulty putting these things out. Cardboard and, just with rakes and shovels. I guess taking the hose would have been too much from the truck. I don't know, but it did seem like they were burning in a kind of like that magic candle. You blow on it and it keeps burning. You can't blow it out.
Oh, some of them have handlers, some of them don't.
Yeah,
so we got a lot of cars over here right now too, which could be a very tough situation.
Well, just people out there have said they can barely see, and those horses who are stuck between thick smoke and flames, you could tell they're disoriented. They weren't sure which direction to go. Some of them
looks like they're trying to get out.
Hey buddies, hey buddies.
So those are, but there were some. One was running toward the flames. I think it's really hard to see, and they're scared.
Hey, Joy, have you gotten a chance to speak with the? I'm sure the owner is probably busy trying to get him out there, get him out of danger there. But do you know how many horses we're talking about, or an estimate number? Have you been able to speak with anyone on that road?
I see 2 that are still. I see 4 that don't have handlers. I see 1 running wild over here.
Yeah, this is really
tough. It looks like they're
going
to try and corral him, and then a couple that have handles on him. The problem is that one doesn't have a rope around him. He doesn't have any reins, and unfortunately, he's doing what horses do right now. He's running to what he knows is safe.
Yeah.
And that is this particular stable, which is unfortunately on fire. And so we have this one. We also have a young colt here. So I'm dealing with a minimum of 6 horses that don't have people with them. And I wish I knew the name of this farm for folks who live around here. What's the name of this farm? They're not your horses.
What street are we on? What section?
Okay, well, what do people need? see, we got a lot of media and a lot of horses, and we got another one running towards us again.
Yeah.
Hey, hey!
Yeah, a very tense,
All right,
stressful
we got
situation.
this one on a rope.
Yes, they're actively trying to help. And if maybe our producers can tell us exactly what Joy is. It is such an intense scene out there. So we're on Tierra Rajada Road. Of course, most people have evacuated.
And you...
Near the Butler Ranch.
And it looks like we have several people who have stopped now trying to help.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know how confusing this wind and this smoke is for humans. It's absolutely terrifying for horses.
But Joy, it appears that they're making some progress of getting some of those horses out of danger. I know you counted a couple that were that didn't have handlers. Can you give us that point of view, or have all the horses, to your vantage point, been able to get out of the way of those flames?
They are not out of the way of the flames. They are further into them. So they are further into that smoky area right now. Horses, by nature, go to what is comfortable for them in an emergency. And regardless of the fact that there are flames or smoke around them, they want to go back to their barn where they feel safe and they feel cozy. And unfortunately, in a situation like that, that can be, well, it can be catastrophic to horses, not only because of the flames, but because of the smoke and how dangerous it is.
So this was today, the Easy Fire. I can't stand what is happening. Interesting was this video that I came upon. A yacht was also on fire near the Easy Fire. This was Ventura County. At the exact same time, Ventura City fully engulfed a yacht fire. And I don't want to play this fire. But it was the around the same time that the Easy Fire erupted. So when you think about electromagnetic frequencies, lasers, well, oops, sorry, we hit the yacht. Listen to this.
opportunity to see some of those hot spots out here in some of those vegetation fields at the Easy Fire near Moore Park and Simi Valley. You can see those hot spots up there on the hill. Sadly though, when the sun's going down out here this afternoon, or this evening, that also means the helicopters now are stopping their water drops as well. You can see right there those hot spots that they're working with. Ground crews are now going to have to make their way into these fields and to get those little fires, hot spots contained out here. You can already see several of the fire trucks making their way into this area, and of course firefighters walking on foot to get to those spots to put them out. The winds, they've lightened up a little bit, but they're still not all out by, or haven't slowed that much. These flames still could easily kick up, especially if the winds pick up tonight. Right now though, this area is basically filled with firefighters. Most of those lights you see out there are fire trucks. There's a lot of areas out here with light grass, and they still have those embers in there, and that's a very dangerous situation, especially if the winds pick up. Live.
Okay, I actually didn't mean to play this video. But yeah, if the winds kick up again tonight, the Easy Fire, the Getty Fire, the Fullerton Fire, Kincaid Fire, all of the fires may grow. The winds were so strong, 5 tractor trailers overturned on California Freeway due to strong winds. Wow. Interstate 15 outside of San Bernardino due to strong winds. How many tractor trailers are flipping over lately? All over the country. Wow, powerful winds. It must be climate change. Well, you can click on this link and get more information. Yeah, a hill fire. I didn't mention the hill fire. The hill fire, which very quickly burned 250 acres in Riverside County, that fire is 5% contained, but that was 5 hours ago. It might be a little bit more contained. This is the video I wanted to play.
Started this fire, or possibly one of their transmission lines, but SoCal Edison itself has admitted, it released a statement saying that fire could have started by one of their power lines.
Could have been, yes. They're saying that they're not positive, and as I'm looking on the map, if you go between Easy Street and Tierra Rajada Road, there is a big Edison line right there, just about where that fire started.
All right.
Wow, so many fires are starting from PG&E, and now we have SoCal Edison that's ready to take responsibility for the Easy Fire transmission line. Yeah, I want to read a comment that was posted underneath this video that I posted last night. And in this video, I show you a video. This was the, oh God, what fire? The Getty Fire. And is that PG&E taking responsibility for that branch falling on a power line? And this was the explosion that was seen by somebody. Arson. Oh, don't want that. So you'll see an explosion. Whoa. Okay. Well, that explosion apparently was caused by, oh, where is it? Oh my God, this branch falling on what they said was a power line. Well, I got a very interesting comment from 68, I think 68 Beefy here. I worked for a South Carolina electric and gas company for 27 years, and the photo of the tiny branch on the lines and subsequent conclusion by LAPD that this caused the Getty Fire is a cruel joke. These look like communication cables attached directly to the pole partway down under the power lines, which are conveniently not shown. Communication cables are always beneath the power lines. Also, electric lines are never attached directly on the pole but are affixed to a cross-arm type construction, offset by insulators. When a tree limb causes a fault to occur on a power line, the fault travels back to the nearest breaker, causing it to trip, thus shutting off the power on that particular circuit. This is all instantaneous and eliminates arcing and sparking. Also, distribution and transmission lines are not insulated, encased in rubber or plastic, hard plastic, like the wires shown. We did not cut off all of the power for the greater Charleston, South Carolina area during Hurricane Hugo in 1969. We had to keep the sewage pumping stations operating, plus hospitals. We had 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts on the coast when Dorian skirted by and power was on. No fires. This California crap really is evil, and one has to wonder just how far down the line of government the conspirators go, and I'll tell you, it goes very far down the line. It goes all the way down to the useful idiots who just want the paycheck, to people who are either working for utility companies or firemen and women or government officials who are recognizing that something very strange is happening, but they ignore it because they want their paycheck. I will link below to LAist. Easy fire started near utility lines, some residents being repopulated in Ventura County, and also California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. The Hill Fire. The Hill Fire started today at 11:19 a.m. Riverside County, 15% contained, 300 acres, active, with mandatory evacuations. This I got earlier today at 8:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it's 5 p.m. And look at all of these, well, what, dancing fires in Mexico. And very strange fire eruptions in Southern California also. Now this is the fire map. Look at what's happening in Southern California. 1, 2. That, I believe, is the Easy Fire. But, wow. They just seem to be skipping around. I also want to show you what I saw earlier tonight. This, I believe, is the Kincaid Fire. So, hang on. Well, I certainly want to show you the pulsating frequencies in Southern California and the extremely low frequencies that are pulsing powerfully, very powerfully. Seeing very strange signatures that I don't fully understand now on radar, but we're talking, okay, just one more time. Look at what's happening when these fires are taking place, and you got the winds whipping them up. All right. Well, this is real time. This looks like smoke. This is Eureka, California. Redding is, well, pretty much right there. Is that Mount Shasta? I don't know, but what is What is this smoke that is coming out? I looked to see if there was another fire in Northern California, and I could not find anything. So if anybody knows, I sure would appreciate being educated. Stay safe, everybody. This is a very, well, it's an unprecedented time that we are living. And this, I believe, is all of the smoke from all of the fires that are taking place here, but you don't see any smoke from there. Is this Fullerton area? I'm not sure. Let's put on the fire overlay. Yep. A lot of fires in California, and it's unfortunate that a whole lot of people are just not questioning why so many. There's drought in other places in this country. Dry conditions with winds. Utility companies are not shutting off power, and fires are not happening. Interesting, though, is that Southern California, Edison, turned off power. Oh, but fires erupted anyway. San Diego, is it gas and electric? Is that what it's called? Have shut off power to, I think, about 26,000, over 26,000. And PG&E is about to shut off power to another 500,000. But apparently turned the power on. And I think for the power outages that had started like yesterday or couple of days ago, there are still 206 people without power, 206,000 without power, and another 500,000 to go. But fires are erupting all over the place. All links are below. Stay safe.